Welcome to the Belgian Grand Prix weekend, our first race here at the newly updated, after about 12 years, Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Very much looking forward to this, especially because it's a dry race and the rest of the weekend is wet, as you normally get in Belgium. So very, very pleased to at least have 44 sunny laps for the Grand Prix itself. We had an indifferent time of things in Great Britain, but Hungary was quite traumatic after George Russell decided to have a crash, and it all kind of went uphill from there, actually, as it happens. We finished P8 in the end. Kevin finished P7, a double points finish for Haas for the first time this season. We're in Belgium now, and hopefully it's a track that we can go well at. Parts are, at the moment, waiting to get updated as we head into practice, so we can jump straight into that practice now and get our resource points accrued, and then maybe afford to buy something else. I don't think I can afford to buy something else with regards to the upgrades, but at the minute the car doesn't need upgrading as it stands. We are the 5th fastest side. That said, it's artificially inflated by the really strong power unit. We actually have the 6th best aero and 7th best chassis, so we're not actually quite as good as that says that we are. We're closer to V-Carb and Williams and Alpine than we are Aston Martin and Mercedes in terms of actual performance, but we're still performing well, we're driving well, we're still at 105, so very much enjoying it so far. Drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save so far. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any remaining oh my god, I can't talk. Any remaining rounds of this Formula 1 World Championship, or remaining seasons as we progress further forward as well. I'm going to put the heart rate monitor on so we can see exactly what's going on with the old ticker as we race around the track. And I'll see you after practice, as we say thank you to Leon for the raid of 17. It did rain in first practice, but we were able to manage the practice sessions accordingly, so we got everything done. Maximum amount of resource points accrued. I don't think, actually, we can afford to do anything else at this particular stage. Like we mentioned in the intro, we might be able to be close to something, or maybe we've gotten a discount for something in the short-term history that might actually allow us to upgrade something that we would like to. Let's have a quick look, shall we? On the aero side, I can't quite afford the drag reduction at this particular moment in time. We're not quite there. At 731 with a 13% discount, we've got 646. That's in the works, and I can't do anything else until the weight reduction is complete. Powertrain-wise, I'm doing that one, Kevin's doing that one, and they're both nowhere near completion. We can't do anything else there, and can't afford to do anything else here, actually. Or we can afford to do something on the MG UK or the turbo durability. Turbo durability might be important, but not really at the moment. It's not the forefront of my mind at this stage. So I'm going to put my much fresher parts in for this qualifying and then Grand Prix session. And fingers crossed, we can have a decent result here in Spa. Energy Store's getting on a little bit, but I don't really want to take a grid penalty for taking an extra one of those just yet. So that's everything sorted. I believe it's raining at the beginning of qualifying. Oh, in fact, it's raining for a lot of qualifying. Dry at the end. Okay, I'm glad I saved the inter tyres from the practice session then, because it's going to be raining for pretty much all of Q1 and Q2. I don't know if we'll make it to Q3 on an inter set. We'll try. I mean, it means we'll save dry tyres for the race, but so will everybody else.
And that's P13.
Got 2 laps in it still this session, and there is time in the lap. There's at least half a second in the lap, we know that for sure. In a minute, it seems like no one else is going to come out. No, it's just literally just the three of us on track. Everyone's happy enough with their laps. Well, that means that we're through then. I don't need to complete this lap. I want to complete the lap just to see what sort of lap time I put in, but I don't actually need to finish this lap to get through to Q2. With only two other cars on track, a V-Carb and an Alpine, we are absolutely through. Because if they improve and beat me, then I will only drop to P15 and we'll still be through. I know there's half a second to find through the bus stop chicane, so we can improve the lap time. Which we will look to do. And that will put us P5. But safe to say, we got the significantly better track conditions to put that time in. So there is still a lot of time on the table for everybody else to be able to put even faster lap times in. It just turns out that they didn't want to. So the session is literally just about to end as I started scrolling, unfortunately. So are there any shock exits? Let's have a look. No. Logan Sargent, Esteban Ocon, Zhou Guanyu, and both V-Carbs. No shock exits, but not necessarily a shock P5 because we know why we were P5 because of the track conditions, but we'll take it. Into Q2 we go. Leicester in the mud. Wow, Russell to 51. The times are significantly coming down.
Okay, we're currently in the drop zone. We need you to move up into the top 10 or we're not going to progress to the shootout.
So fastest, in fact, I've gotten the opportunity to go again. I don't have the opportunity to go again. Checkered flag is falling. We are currently P12. Other drivers must have set their laps already then and have taken the checkered flag before we did. We will finish P12 in Q2, but Kevin is through. He's a full second faster than me, yikes. Okay, I was not competitive there in the rain, let's be honest. Lando out in 11th, though. That is a big shock. Albon through in the Williams. Kevin through in the Haas. Max Verstappen out in a Red Bull as well in P13. So two big eliminations there. Alonso, P1. And for Q3, which evidently we will now not be a part of, it's going to start wet and dry up at the end of the session. So I imagine when we head into the Grand Prix that the pole times that are set will be on dry weather tyres. And of course, we have a fully dry race as well. So thankfully, the fully dry race looks like it could be good for us. Our tyre wear was significantly better than expected in the practice programme by like 20%. So we might have an absolutely belting Grand Prix. Or it might entirely mislead me and we'll still be middle of the pack. Right. Did they set the tyres 43.1? Yes, dry tyres. Charles Leclerc with the 43 flat, however, starts on pole. Sainz P3 and Piastri P4. Of course,
Russell.
Verstappen would have been in the running for pole, but he bottled it. K-Mag starts P8.
Norris.
8th for
Wood.
Kevin. Wow. Verstappen's going to take me off the line, though, you would imagine. And it doesn't appear that anybody's got any penalties at the moment. Zhou Guanyu, Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, and Logan Sargent. Surprised to see Esteban Ocon so far down the order. What's everyone else starting on? Everybody's starting on softs. Okay. This is going to be...
Not sure we're going to be able to match our last
Really?
result, but just try your best to gain a few places at the start.
I would have been sure that I could have done a medium soft one stop. So a soft to medium one stop, I think, is going to be doable. And it reckons that it is a faster strategy as well. So soft medium is what it recommends. I will not go on any other starting tyre than the soft because everybody else is also on the softs. But we'll save a pit stop. Fuel, I'm not sure what to do with. I'm nervous to change it too much. I'd rather run slightly heavy than risk having to save fuel again. If there was a mixture of what everyone else was on, then I would start on the mediums. But with everyone else starting on softs, I just cannot get away with starting on the mediums. I will get dropped, and DRS is obviously so important. So to stay with the pack, we will start softs. But I'm pretty sure, even though in theory it says it's slightly slower, I think saving a stop might be the way forward. Soft to medium, and we will one stop, not two, like we believe everyone else is. That will leave us more tyres for any potential safety car scenario. We're going to try and take this set of soft tyres 20 laps. And the mediums will comfortably go 24 and will probably go 26. So this could be a great race for us if our tyre wear is solid and everyone else, that's projected, personalised. Oh, personalised. Yeah, look, there you go. Personalised is that. So that's how good our tyre wear was in the practice programme. Projected, by default, it's a 79-minute, 24-second race time. But my projected is a 79.11. I can go to the end 13 seconds faster than anyone else because our tyre wear is so good around here. Yes, please. Soft medium. Away we go. I'd be sorely tempted to go medium soft, you know. But I just won't. But the undercut could be absolutely massive, as Nathan says in chat. We will start soft. We will look to undercut. I could even pit like lap 15. We might be in genuine contention for a podium here if the pace is as good as the tyre wear. With Norris in front and Verstappen slightly behind, we're probably going to lose positions at the start. Gasly's electric. That Alpine has shot off the line. Gasly's made 2 or 3 positions already. There's Verstappen trying to take me too. Use a bit of battery. P14 right now. Kevin, hopefully, will be able to maintain his position as best as possible. They're side by side, Norris and Gasly, through Eau Rouge and over the top of Radion as well. I imagine everyone's going to use a lot of battery. I will do the same. Although I'm able to maintain here. Everyone's flashing. I think we might have a very competitive car for this Belgian Grand Prix. Everyone's all tucked up at the minute. Getting brave on the brakes against Max Verstappen, who is fighting it hard and wins the position back again. That's great racing from Max Verstappen. Aggressive from me, aggressive in return from the Red Bull. And we stay P14 for now. Max with a little lock up there. Almost made him vulnerable. He was able to get it under control very quickly though. DRS will begin this lap, and as such, everyone's going to be going crazy down the Kemmel Straight this lap. There's a Ferrari in the lead still. Charles Leclerc leads from Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen DNF'd. Was it in Hungary that he DNF'd, or the previous race? It might have been Hungary actually. And he's starting outside the points here as well. He's got such a giant lead in the Grand Prix, in the championship, though, that I don't think these back-to-back potential poor results are going to affect his overall title challenge. But this is probably going to be a bit DRS trainy to begin with, and then the pit stops where hopefully we will gain loads of time. Purple sector 3 for us. I did use a lot of battery though, to be fair. Getting ever so caught up going through the source. There's definitely positions to be made there if we get a bit brave. We might end up with a DRS train for the whole bloody race at this rate on lap 3, and still nobody even looking close to dropping out of DRS of the car in front. Probably going to have to wait for pit stops to make some changes. Some positions are changing hands, but no one's really getting too aggressive at the end of the Kemmel Straight into the chicane, so everything is as it was. Up and wide there a couple of times, gonna have to be careful. Don't want to wear that outside left too much on the front, because that is the tyre that wears more so than any other here. Just because our tyre wear is good by default doesn't mean I can't still burn through my tyres with poor driving. I'll be tempted, if I can be slightly closer to Max next lap, I'm going to make a conscious effort to use my battery at the right point. I might try and make a move on Max into La Source, turn 1. That said, I've got a bit of a run on him here. I say a bit of a run. I've got a great run on Max Verstappen here. Force him defensive. We'll get the slipstream from Lando, use a bit of battery. This is where the Ferrari power unit comes into its own. Although our not quite so upgraded brakes and aero package let me down a little bit there. Was hoping to be able to slam on the anchors and get that to stop. It didn't want to. We very nearly broke DRS behind, actually, to the Sauber of Valtteri Bottas, but he's back within range again now. We can just cut away from those behind, give ourselves less to worry about, then that would be preferable. And I think with a bit of ERS on the big run to the bus stop chicane, we probably can get that gap over a second, as it just did, and keep it there too. Comfortably. Oh! Damage to Max Verstappen for running over the curb there. You saw all of the carbon fibre fly off the car. That's going to cost him some downforce, surely. And some cornering ability and speed in a straight line. I presume that came off Max Verstappen. Certainly looked like it flew out the back of the Red Bull. That was crazy. And we have managed to drop DRS behind. So fingers crossed gaps will start to open up now. And we might be able to see some overtaking, not just from ourselves, but from everyone else too. 11%. So we'll be at 30 odd percent by lap. Whoa. I say we try the undercut. I think they might try a two-stopper.
Use overtake.
But depending on when the last of the two-stoppers pit off their softs for another set of softs, I might pit then for my mediums, because that will probably be about lap 14. It might be slightly earlier than anticipated. 14 or 15. I could probably pit 17 and absolutely nail the medium stint. I'm presuming everyone else is on a two-stop, but let's ask and find out.
Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop.
Okay, so we're not the only one-stoppers.
1 minute 48.3. Okay, so you're gaining by 1/10 per lap.
We're absolutely not the only one-stoppers. So we'll probably pit 16 or 17, I think. 16 or 17. Tyres will be close to 50%, but everyone else's by that point will be that a one stopping will be closer to 70, I think, and potentially in puncture territory. Now, if I can get a decent exit here, which I haven't unfortunately been able to do, I might be able to have a look at Max into La Source.
You've lost some time to the car behind.
I probably could have thrown it up the inside there, but didn't want to get brave. See gaps opening up further forward. A Ferrari's had some issues, actually. A Ferrari, Charles Leclerc has dropped from pole down to P6 and he's well off the lead right now, so he's made a mistake somewhere. Chat, when should I pit? Give me your lap number. Just one message, each of you. One message, lap number for a pit. Big lock up for Pierre Gasly. Straight on into the gravel trap. That was really, really poor from Pierre Gasly there. He's under pressure from Lando Norris behind him, so you can understand why he feels a bit harried, but that's a big lock-up, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. A hell of a lot of time. He is now going to be running last, and by quite the margin.
Green flag.
Hands me a position. Thanks, Pierre. Running now with Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. The stint was supposed to be 20 laps, Zach. So lap 14 is 30% of the stint. Lap 14 would see me pitting 30% earlier. Definitely noticing a lack of grip at the front now in the change of direction. Just went to switch from one direction to the other as I normally would there, and the car did not live with it at the front end. Just massive understeer. I'm going to try and catch up with Verstappen here with a significant piece of battery if we can. These little curves are actually really quite dangerous, I've noticed so far. They will quite happily just spin you out. And this one on the right hand side there, the inside curve of that corner will very, very readily just send you into a wall. And I'm definitely not going to be able to get myself back in DRS here without using all of my battery, I think. And even then I might not make it. Probably not going to make it. Definitely didn't make it, and I've used a lot of battery there, but we're close right up. So much so that we will be within DRS range for the most crucial bit, which is down the Kemmel straight.
Right, keep pushing. You're gaining on the car ahead.
That was close. Got a run on Max again. It's been a few laps since we've been able to be this close. I have a run on Max again, and I'll use a lot of battery. We'll get the objective as well. But dink, there you go.
Hit that target. Really good job.
And this time, I won't go deep on the brakes. We maintain the position. Max and Lando not making the progress I thought they would here. Really genuinely thought they'd just carve their way through, but at the minute they're not able to do it. Haven't really noticed that our supposed excellent tyre wear has given me that much of an advantage yet. We're at 30% on the left and nearly 30% on the right. I don't feel like the others are really that much higher than me at the moment. We're thinking of pitting, lap 16 rather than lap 20. But other than that earlier stop to do hopefully a really decent undercut, I'm not sure whether I've got that much of an advantage. There's definitely points on for us today with a strong undercut and then decent pace, but I don't know how much further we can get. Lando looking to the wrong side for the bus stop. We'll go inside for the first part, mate. We might be able to make a position here as well. Because he's still tucked up behind Alex Albon, Lando Norris. That Williams is just so strong in a straight line, which is very Williamsy, so to speak, as I'm sure you'll agree. Williams is always very good in a straight line. Might be able to get a decent run on Lando through Eau Rouge and up over the top of Radion as we did on Max. And have a go at maybe getting the McLaren here as well. Maybe this is the start of our tyre wear actually working in our favour. Well, their top end is better than mine, evidently. Thankfully, he saw me coming, putting faith in the other driver there.
Nice work, mate.
And I make a mistake on exit and cost myself the position again anyway. Well done, Ches. Never mind, 8. Pitting in 2 laps time. Very nearly a great move, but not quite. Oh, they're boxing. Lots of 2-stoppers in the box now then. Lots of 2-stoppers in the box. We know that Max is 1-stopping. We've asked about that already. But we are now up into P8 as a number of drivers pit. That's not a problem. We're pitting in 2 laps time anyway. On lap 16, finish 15, finish 16. And then we're in for our only other stop. Or only stop. So I've got no problems whatsoever with them boxing there, knowing that they've got to make one more stop as well.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Yeah, I think we're in for a really, really strong finish here, potentially. Hopefully top 6. Hopefully top 6 with an undercut on the 1-stoppers. I'm going to have to try and stick with Max here though, but I've got lots of battery to do so. This is why upgrading the ERS is so important. To have that always as a constant weapon in your armoury, to have lots of battery at your disposal, is huge. And it will make a massive difference when it comes to maximising our potential lead position? Our potential race finishing position. Max is quicker than us in a straight line initially in the traction zones, but top speed with this Ferrari power unit is very much ours. We are going to pit this lap. It reckons I'll come out 17th.
Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap.
Hopefully we can have a good stop. The team will do their job to allow me the best possible opportunity to do mine. Careful of that wall on the inside. And a speeding penalty. And we're into the pits. Softs to mediums, our only stop of the race. Quick stop then, please, gentlemen.
Okay,
perfect. 2.5 will do very nicely. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Not quite going to be close enough to get DRS range on Alex Albon this lap, unfortunately. But we are now going to the end on this set, whereas everyone around us is stopping one more time. Albon has gotten stuck for the middle sector behind a very slow V-carb in the shape of Daniel Ricciardo, who is yet to pit and very, very slow. So we've gained DRS now on Alex Albon. He's looking around the outside of bus stop 1 to have the inside for bus stop 2 to take Daniel Ricciardo. And having DRS now is going to hopefully keep us in very good undercut territory. Ourselves and Alex Albon are going to make lots of time here. Daniel is going to get in my way through Eau Rouge and Radion, but that's fine. We can quite comfortably take him now. And stick with Alex Albon.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Lean on the new tyres in the braking zone. Get the job done. I've absolutely no idea why our tyre wear is so significantly better here than anywhere else. That, accompanied with our sensational straight line speed, is going to make us such a weapon in the latter stages of this race. We're really going to have a great chance of a superb finish in this Grand Prix. Alex went defensive on the inside, so we'll switch to the outside and get the job done. I looked initially to go up the inside of him there, and then as he ducked to the inside, let's see what that looked like off board on the TV camera, because that probably, if the camera's angle's right, looked really good. I go to the inside here, he then goes to the inside, so we switch back and fly around the outside of the Williams. That was a really nice move. Love that. Job done. Ocon in the box. That's another position. Loads in the box. All the other one-stoppers have now boxed. They've pit.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please.
We expected them to box 20 because that's what was initially recommended to us. And we are now running P8 with Sainz, Perez, Russell, Kevin, Lando and Stroll all yet to pit again. We are running a net P2 because of our fantastic tyre wear here at Spa and our superbly strong power unit as well. We are a net P2. If our tyres last, there's a podium on the cards here in Spa. All of the others in the box. All of the other one-stoppers, should I say, in the box. Russell, Sainz, Perez.
The car ahead, 5.6
I just used a lot of ERS to try and burn and get out here. Okay, we're running a net P3 now then. Carlos Sainz has come out in front of us. We won't have the pace to match the Ferrari, but we've got 4.7 seconds to Sergio Perez behind. We're running a net P3, and a podium is on for us here. If our tyre wear is better than those around us on also medium tyres, even though they've pit a handful of laps later than us, by the end of the race, the tyre wear should level out so that the tyre advantage they have at the moment will just lessen and lessen and lessen as the race goes on. Concentrate, Ches. Question is, will it come back to me quickly enough to allow me to keep position, or at least remain competitive enough with DRS to still stand a chance of holding on to a podium position? At the minute, Kevin Magnussen leads the Grand Prix, and as his softs starts to wear and continue to wear, he's going to hold up those in front of us, and we're going to be able to close the gap yet further. This could be a potential race-winning scenario for us here at Haas. And the difficulty is exactly the same as where we finished 15th in Silverstone. So important is the difference between tracks that work with your package and that you're good at as a driver, and tracks that don't work with your package and you're not very good at as a driver. I'm going to start, holding me up the same way that Magnussen is holding those up in front. And I want to get on the back of them before Kevin dips in the pits if I can. So we might just look to take Lance Stroll into the bus stop chicane here if we can, which rather evidently we're going to have the pace to be able to do. Magnussen is now P4, so both the Ferrari and the Aston Martin have been able to take him. Lance is pushing me very tight here, but we will get the move done, and the DRS crucially as well. Thank you, Mr. Stroll. The majority of the soft runners did 14 or 15 laps.
Great stuff. You hit that target. That sets us up nicely.
Someone's retiring behind, I think. I'm not sure who it is. I think it's a Sauber. It is indeed. Valtteri Bottas is out of the race, unfortunately for him. I think his engine's just had enough. We expected all of the two stoppers to pit about 14 or 15, which they did. So you would expect the two stoppers to pit again anywhere from 28 to 32-ish. Unfortunately, Kevin has not been able to hold up the two in front as much as we hoped that he would do. But now they're tucked up behind Lando Norris. So hopefully he can hold them up. If we can close in on Sainz and Alonso, we might have the pace to challenge for the win. Crucially, you'll notice actually the gap to Sergio Perez now at 3.3 seconds is coming down. He was 5 seconds behind. It grew from 4.5 to about 5.3. Now it's dropped to 3.2. So as my tyres wear, their tyre advantage starts to show itself. But as we mentioned earlier, hopefully that tyre advantage will start to work its way back to us as the stint progresses, and by the end of the race we should all be on similar tyres. We're much faster than Kevin here. I'm getting held up by my teammate now, which is not ideal. Team orders, please. Let me through. He's not going to let me through. I'm going to have to take the position, and he is fighting it, Kevin. But that fight will come to an end now. Sergio Perez will significantly close there now, because we've lost quite a bit of time just trying to get past our teammate, who might inadvertently cost us a bloody podium by fighting me as hard as he has done. Because Perez is right behind Stroll now, and that gap might be under 2 seconds. I'd like to think we'll be able to stick with Perez and still fight for a P3. But it's going to be tough to do so if the Red Bull is genuinely that fast. Kevin's in the way again, but Kevin will soon not be in the way again. Try and get around the outside of him. Here, if we can. I'm not quite going to have the grip to do so. It's fine. We will get Kevin back again. It's just costing us time to those in front and to Checo behind. Try the same again. He might go defensive this time. No. I'm going to go deep to try and stop him trying to hold the inside line there. Oh, he's boxed anyway. All right. Well, they're in. Norris is in. We're now P3. There's a big gap to those in front. We will not be finishing first or second in this Grand Prix. But we are genuinely fighting now with Sergio Perez for a podium. Because there's a big gap back to Max Verstappen in now P5 that stands at 11 seconds, which I hope isn't going to get overturned. I've got no answer for Checo at the moment. The gap to Max has come down by a second that lap as well. My tyre wear is starting to show itself. Now so we need to use our battery as best we can to try and defend. Hope that we can hold the gap.
Okay, mate, we've got
or either that.
so let's try and use some more.
Shush, Mark. I'm talking. Either that or we just cling on to the back of Perez to try and maintain the gap back to Max. And then at some point, although Max is fighting with Lewis Hamilton it seems, which is great news, either we hang on to the back of Perez and he just drags us along and then we try and take him towards the end of the race, or we just use our battery to try and stay as far ahead of Perez as we can and protect ourselves in the DRS zones. At this stage, I'll probably pit for new mediums, not new softs, still.
Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push.
You mean that car ahead? Right, now, I think this is probably just the only tactic we're actually going to actively be able to employ, is we try and stick with Sergio Perez for the rest of this race. Hope that his pace carries us or keeps us far enough ahead of Verstappen and Hamilton, and then we try and take Sergio Perez on the last lap or last couple of laps to still finish on the podium. Might just take Sergio here with battery.
Okay, gap to the car in front.
Oh, I've gone deep.
0 seconds.
Up to third, back to fourth. It was worth a go. Didn't quite get my braking point right. Verstappen and Hamilton still fighting and costing each other time. If they, so to speak, worked together, then they could close up on myself and Checo, I'm sure. They've got Charles Leclerc just waiting in the wings behind them. Oh, he has! Normally that radio call isn't accurate. This time it is. Carlos Sainz takes Fernando Alonso to take the lead of the Grand Prix. It's the two Spaniards fighting it out for victory in Belgium. Yeah, still waiting for the Premier League Under-23 side to be drawn in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy for Cambridge. Well, we're going to take Checo again here. He's going to go defensive. This time we will get the move made and stayed. And that's P3 again. A bit of a battle here with Sergio, aren't we? Able to use my battery here to defend from Checo now. And if you look at the minimap, you'll see that Lewis and Max have been joined by other cars. So the two-way fight for a P5 has now become a four-way fight for a P5. And George Russell and the other McLaren are also trying to catch up with that gaggle. And with them all fighting together, you can see top left rather than bottom left. You can see that the gap back to Lewis and Max and co is now back over 10 seconds and growing still. So
push, use your overtake button. Let's go.
Previously I said I thought we were guaranteed a podium. At the moment, I think we're guaranteed a top 4. And the podium is a possibility still. With 9 laps to go plus the one we're on. My bitch from Daddy. What shoes the chickens wear? Fuck's sake, what are you like? I'm knackered here. I might as well just let him take it. Bye, Sergio. Lando Norris on his fresher tyres on the 2-stop compared to the 1-stop of Max Verstappen has taken everybody in that group, taken the fastest lap, and is now on a 8-lap charge to try and get a podium. Sergio and I need to be wary we don't fight so much that neither of us finish on the podium and Lando takes it, because he is going to be on his way, and rather evidently at quite some pace. Even just through the talking of this highlight, that gap has significantly dropped. Lando Norris is not out of this yet. He's very much part of this podium picture, I think. Hi, Sergio. He's using his battery to try and defend. But you can't defend that, pal. See you, bud. Bye. I say bye, as if he's not just going to stick to the back of me and return the favour next lap.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
Thanks, Mark. Oh, he's my biggest fan, is Mark, isn't he? That was terrible. Whoa, that was even worse. Bye, Sergio. Lando is, as you quite rightly say, coming. I was going to put me into the wall there, Checo. Made my intentions clear that I was going to go to the inside.
Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 9.5 seconds.
He didn't want to leave me any racing room, did he? Well, I'm still getting the job done, mate. Here, pal. Used a significant amount of battery.
Into first place.
Okay. Used a significant amount of battery that lap to try and break the DRS to Checo. And he's actually closer than he was last lap, so that tactic isn't going to work. And at the minute, it would not be worth, even under a VSC, going for a pit stop. A cheap one. We wouldn't make the time back, so this is us now tyre-wise, this is us now competitive-wise to the end of the race. Lando is 4.5 seconds back, with 4 laps to go, and he's gaining a second a lap. He will be with us by the end. Oh, I concentrated there to make sure I got my braking point bang on. So I didn't commentate the lead up to that overtake. I was fully focused on getting the job done. being the lead car of this trio when the time comes that Lando catches is going to be crucial, I think. So we've got a full battery, 2.5 laps worth of race remaining, and still no idea who's going to win the Grand Prix, as Alonso's in P1 again now, or who's going to be standing with Alonso and Carlos Sainz on the podium. Any one of 2 for the win, any one of 3 for P3. Starting the final lap, I have Sergio Perez right behind me, and he now has Lando Norris right behind him. 1 lap to go, all 3 of us going for this position. Now, I am going to use my battery as best I can here. I've tried to save it for right now. I'm going to empty my ERS here to try and stay ahead down the straight. It's a tactic that is working, and I hope to save enough ERS through the rest of the lap. Concentrate, says, to be able to defend into the bus stop chicane as well. But I'm going to have to shut up shop in terms of talking and in terms of driving to try and get this through. So the rest of the lap will be with you, but I might not say anything in it. Draining my battery now. Keeping an eye on the Delta top left. Fernando Alonso makes an overtake for the lead into the bus stop chicane on the last lap. But Sainz is getting him to the line. Fernando Alonso just wins the race. We hold on for a fantastic podium, and I want to see if I can see that across the line for Fernando and Carlos just here. This is the battle for the win into the final bus stop chicane on the last lap. These two have been at it the entire time. The checkered flag is waving, and they're side by side across the line, and it's Fernando by who knows how much to actually get the job done. And the checkered flag is waving here, not the start-finish line. And that is your winning margin. That decided the race. That's unbelievably close. Wow! Right, we're going to get a thumbnail of that. So that is the closest Grand Prix victory win we have seen in a career mode save, potentially ever. That's so close. I know I've not quite got Fernando on the line there, but that is unreal. That's as close as it gets, really. The definition of a photo finish. And we will be taking photos of ourselves on the podium too. P3 for the Haas.
Oh, that's a great finish.
Wow.
Really stepped up.
We worked for that. Oh boy, what a one-stop. And driver of the day as well. Same difficulty as a P15 in Britain. A lucky P8 in Hungary, and a podium in Belgium. This track suits our car. That Ferrari power unit is monstrous. Zandvoort next is more like Hungary, so it's not going to be anywhere near as easy to finish on the podium there as it has. Well, it wasn't easy. You can clearly see how much I had to work for it in the final 20 laps with Sergio Perez. What a battle that is. One of the best battles we've had in all of our F1 career history with regards battling one driver for a genuinely prestigious finish. Fernando Alonso gets the win by, I'm waiting to see what the margin was, but certainly less than a tenth. Thousandths, I'm sure. And it's shaky bottle time up on the podium for the second time this season. The first time was because we didn't know the game well enough and the difficulty wasn't right. This time, we earned it. Very much so. A P3 for me. And what was the gap? 14 milliseconds for car 14. Sure, Fernando's number 14. How very apt. I win the race for P3 by 4.2 tenths, so to speak. And Lando Norris, in the end, 3 point something tenths behind. No, 4 point something tenths behind. So the gap between me and Checo is about the same as the gap between Checo and Lando Norris. Max Verstappen was able to get the better of Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc got the better of Lewis Hamilton as well. A close finish there. Kevin just outside the points in the end, unfortunately. P11 finish for Kevin Magnussen. He finishes just over half a second behind Oscar Piastri, who was able to get him at the end. But that is a valiant effort and a earned podium. We will be lucky to get points in Zandvoort. That's how different the racetracks are and how much our car suits that one and doesn't suit tracks of the nature of Zandvoort. Weather could be a very big issue in Zandvoort as well. If it rains, I'm really not going to be competitive at all. No perk improvements there, but we're on our way towards some in a number of different areas. And I think we might have a couple of upgrades to come before Zandvoort as well, which would hopefully help us in our challenge to get points at that round of the championship as well. We'll consolidate in P10, I think it is, in the championship with that 15-point haul. Front nose cone structure is completed. And we head to the season break next, where we'll all get a bit of a rest. Where will we, or what will it all look like? Yeah, still P10, although we're very much closing on Oscar Piastri now. How will it all shake out after the season break?
Okay, all the new parts have been fabricated and we're going to have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Lovely. Good. So, is Kevin, when's that going to be done for Kevin? 35 days. Not even close to being available for the next Grand Prix. Tyre wear I'm not going to do because I'm still not sure if that's bugged, as was the case in previous years. That's not going to be ready until... neither of them ready until Azerbaijan, but drag reduction system, well not drag reduction system, but a drag reduction upgrade to make us faster in a straight line, going to be pretty important for Baku. More important probably for Monza, but certainly to have that for Baku will be massive. And with only a, 10% chance of it failing? Surely that does go through. We'll start the season break, and hopefully we get the upgrades to the MGUH and the ECU here. More resource points for me. They both pass, and the rotor speed fails, unfortunately, as we arrive at the Dutch Grand Prix weekend. What does the R&D progress look like? We're supposedly now the 4th fastest team, but again, it's the power unit package that sees us that competitive. We've levelled off, as have Ferrari. McLaren and Red Bull extend a little bit. Mercedes and Aston Martin gain on us. And as we get to the race in Zandvoort, I'm sure it will be not quite as close in terms of the result either. They're both at 41% there. So we'll make sure I just do this ahead of time to put the older parts in to ensure that we don't make any mistakes later down the line and cost ourselves a grid penalty that we don't need to take. And then what is the weather going to be at Zandvoort? Please no rain. I just don't like driving in the rain. I know you guys really enjoy changeable conditions because it adds drama. And drama you have. Drama you have. Interchangeable conditions in qualifying and the race. And it hasn't shown me exactly what the weather's going to look like for qualifying or the race. So as you can see there, dry and wet weather running at the Dutch Grand Prix for quali and the Grand Prix itself. Oh, bugger. Not looking forward to that, but you certainly will do, so join me for it. There will probably be a Creator Series episode next on the channel before that Dutch Grand Prix, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the consistent Formula 1 content. Chris is doing a great job in pumping it out for us, and you guys are being very kind in your support continually for the save. So drop the video a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then do. If you're not following me on Twitch or subscribed to the YouTube live channel, then do. And hopefully I will see you in either the Creator Series episode, on stream, or in the Dutch video. Bye-bye.